We had seen two important parameters of covalent bonds. The one was the bond length or bond distance. All of you please switch on the video. The second point was the bond angle. The two parameters of covalent bonds. One is the bond length or bond distance. The other is bond angle. You know what is bond distance or bond length? That is the equilibrium distance between the nuclei of the combining atoms. In the covalent bond, there is a combination of two atoms, and the distance between the nuclei of the combining atoms, that's called the bond length or bond distance. Another point, that is the bond angle. Bond angle is the smaller angle between two covalent bonds or two pairs of electrons shared. That is the bond angle. Bond angle determines the shape of the molecule. The geometry of the molecule can be obtained from the bond angle. The bond angle can be measured by spectroscopic methods. The bond distance also can be measured by spectroscopic methods, electron diffraction method, X-ray diffraction method, etc. We had seen. We had to see Anthony, Adim, Alvin, Rajas, Emmanuel. All of you are there. You will show your face. Okay. We have to see one more property of covalent bond, and that is the bond enthalpy. So let us see the third parameter of a covalent bond, and it is the bond enthalpy. What is meant by bond enthalpy? Bond enthalpy. You know, bond formation is an exothermic process. Bond formation, covalent bond formation is an exothermic change, is a exothermic. While, say, bond dissociation, that is the breaking up of a bond, breaking up of a covalent bond, that is endothermic. So bond formation is exothermic, while bond dissociation is endothermic. Endothermic. You know the meaning of these words. Exothermic means heat is released, energy is released. So when a covalent bond is formed, energy is released, heat is released. So it is exothermic. While when a covalent bond is broken, that is dissociated, energy is absorbed by the system, and therefore it is endothermic. That is why we say bond formation is exothermic, that is a release of energy, while bond dissociation, breakage, bond dissociation is endothermic. Now let us try to define bond enthalpy. Bond enthalpy is the energy required, bond enthalpy, that is the energy required to break one mole of a particular type of bond, covalent bond. Energy required to break one mole of a particular type of bond. There may be, say, various types, single bonds, double bonds, triple bonds, etc. Similarly, bonds between the same type of atoms, or bonds between different types of atoms, etc. So that depends. That is why I say a particular type of bond. So the energy required to break 1 mole of a particular type of bond, that is called the bond enthalpy or bond energy. It is the energy absorbed during the dissociation or breaking down of 1 mole, 6.02 into 10 raised to 23. That is 1 mole. So 1 mole of a particular type of bond, that's called the bond enthalpy or a bond energy. For example, you take the bond enthalpy of hydrogen. For hydrogen, the bond enthalpy of hydrogen, bond enthalpy, that is equal to 435.8 435.8 kilojoules per mole. See, per mole, kilojoules per mole. What is the meaning of this? You take the structure of a hydrogen molecule. In hydrogen molecule, there is a single bond, single covalent bond between the hydrogen atoms that you have seen. Say the structure is like this. Hydrogen atom 1, then hydrogen atom 2, 2 hydrogen atoms. An electron pair is shared between the 2 hydrogen atoms. Now, this bond is going to be broken. Say the breakage of the bond is like this. The molecule is dissociated into the individual atoms. For example, here, hydrogen molecule is dissociated into hydrogen atoms, and the energy required, that is the bond enthalpy. So to define it fully, it is the energy required to break 1 mole of a bond between hydrogen atoms. 1 mole of a bond. 1 mole of bond means 1 mole of hydrogen molecules. 1 mole of hydrogen molecules. In 1 mole of in 1 molecule, see here, in 1 molecule there is a single bond. 1 molecule there is a single bond. If you take 1 mole of hydrogen molecules, 6.02 into 10 raised to 23, 6.02 into 10 raised to 23, so much molecules, 1 mole of molecules you take, there will be 1 mole of bonds. Do you follow what I say? In 1 molecule, there is 1 covalent bond between hydrogen atoms. Now you take 1 mole of hydrogen molecules. 1 mole of hydrogen molecules means 6.02, Avogadro number, 6.02 into 10 raised to 23 molecules. So in 1 mole of hydrogen molecules, there will be 1 mole of bonds. 1 mole of bonds. And the energy required to break 1 mole of the bond in hydrogen molecules, 1 mole of hydrogen molecules, that's called the bond enthalpy. I shall make it clear like this. Say, bond enthalpy of hydrogen is equal to 435.8 kilojoules per mole. Means, for the dissociation of, for the breakage of 1 mole of hydrogen molecules, the breakage of the dissociation of 1 mole of hydrogen molecules, we need 435.8 kilojoules energy. That much of energy will be absorbed. That means 1 Avogadro number, 6.02 into 10 raised to 23 molecules of hydrogen will absorb 435.8 kilojoules of energy for complete dissociation. Okay, so come to the definition again. Bond enthalpy is the energy required to break, to dissociate 1 mole of a particular type of bond. A particular type of bond. That is called the bond enthalpy or a bond energy. Bond energy. For example, bond enthalpy of hydrogen is equal to 435.8 kilojoules, joule and kilojoule. These are the units of energy and work also. Energy and work. Say joule, the smallest unit of energy and work. Kilojoule, it's a higher value, that's all. So 435.8 kilojoules per mole. The meaning is this: for the breakage of the bonds in 1 mole of hydrogen molecules, 1 mole of hydrogen molecules, we need 435.8 kilojoules of energy. That much of energy will be absorbed by 1 mole of hydrogen molecules for the complete dissociation. That is the meaning of say kilojoules per mole. That is the meaning. You take the case of nitrogen. Nitrogen, the bond enthalpy of a nitrogen, that is equal to 946 kilojoules per mole. And what's the meaning of this? Say, what is the meaning? The meaning is this. You know the structure of a nitrogen molecule. Do you remember? There is a triple bond between the nitrogen atoms. We are going to build up chemistry. To build up chemistry, you must be thorough with the previous topics. Then only we can build up. You must be aware of the previous topics you have studied. Then only we can build up. Okay. So in nitrogen molecule, N2 molecule, there is a triple bond. There is a triple bond. And we have to break this bond, the triple bond between the nitrogen atom, nitrogen molecules, between the nitrogen atoms in a molecule. And for the breakage of 1 mole of such bonds between nitrogen atoms, nitrogen has to absorb 946 kilojoules. 946 kilojoules. For the breakage of the bonds between nitrogen atoms in nitrogen molecules, for 1 mole, nitrogen has to absorb 946 kilojoules of energy. So then 1 mole of nitrogen molecules will be completely broken, completely dissociated into atoms. So the energy required for the breakage of 1 mole of a particular type of bond, that's called bond enthalpy. Bond enthalpy. Now you come to these values, hydrogen and nitrogen. Say for hydrogen as well as nitrogen, the bond enthalpy values are high values. The values are high values. For example, you take nitrogen. Nitrogen, for the breakage of the bonds between nitrogen atoms, 1 mole of a molecule, you take 1 mole of molecules, and for the breakage of 1 mole of the bond between the nitrogen atoms, 946 kilojoules of energy is required. That much of energy is required. And the bond enthalpy of nitrogen is a very high value. Say it is 946 kilojoules per mole. It's a very high value. That is because there is a strong bond between nitrogen atoms. There is a triple bond. It's a strong bond. A triple bond between the nitrogen atoms. So due to the strong triple bond between the nitrogen atoms in nitrogen molecule, the bond enthalpy of nitrogen is a very high value. The bond enthalpy of nitrogen is a very high value. Why? Because the bond between the nitrogen atoms in nitrogen molecule is a triple bond. It's a very strong bond. So for the dissociation of the triple bond, a strong bond, high energy is required. Okay, so that's about the bond enthalpy or bond energy. These are the 3 parameters. So the 3 parameters of covalent bonds. 3, Srihari. the three parameters of covalent bonds. What are the three parameters we have seen? One is unmute. Unmute and say. Unmute and say. Okay. Point number one. I can't hear you. Yes, go on. Naveen. Naveen. The three parameters of covalent bonds. Three parameters.
Bond length,
Bond length,
bond angle, and bond order.
and now finally
Bond order.
bond energy or bond enthalpy. Bond energy or bond enthalpy. So these are the three parameters concerned with covalent bonds. Okay. Now let us say another point, and it is called a resonance. Resonance. And what is meant by resonance? Resonance. To define resonance, let us take a molecule. For example, do you remember the structure of a benzene? You have studied in the 10th standard. Structure of benzene. Do you remember the molecular formula of benzene? Molecular formula C6H6. C6H6, that is benzene. Benzene is a cyclic compound. It is a ring compound. There is a ring of 6 carbon atoms. Say ring of 6 carbon atoms. Say like this. Carbon, carbon. Say here also carbon and the 6th carbon. A ring of 6 carbon atoms. So it is a cyclic compound or a ring compound. So in a cyclic compound or a ring compound, there is ring closure. Ring closure between atoms. The structure is not open. The structure is not open. The carbon chain, that is not open. You know, say the carbon chain, if it is like this, it is an open chain structure. Open chain structure. But here, this is not open chain. There is a ring closure. So benzene is a ring compound or a cyclic compound with a ring of 6 carbon atoms, hexagonal ring of 6 carbon atoms. And on each carbon, there will be one hydrogen atom. Remember this structure? You have studied in the 10th standard. Okay, so H. This is the structure. Now, C6H6. The molecular formula is over. That is right. But what about the valency? The valence of carbon. You have seen that valence of carbon is equal to 4. Valence of carbon is equal to 4. Therefore, there should be 4 covalent bonds. 4 covalent bonds around carbon atom. But in the given structure, this structure, there are only 3 covalent bonds around carbon atom. And to complete the valence of carbon, alternate single bond and a double bond are given. And this was suggested by Kekulé, the scientist Kekulé. And this is called a Kekulé structure. Kekulé structure of benzene. Kekulé structure of benzene. And this structure can be abbreviated in another form. See, it is written like this. Like this. It is written this way. The carbon atoms and hydrogen atoms are hidden in the given structure. Carbon atoms and hydrogen atoms are not shown in the given structure. Only the shape of the molecule is given. The structure of the molecule is given. And in the given figure, the figure I have drawn, at each corner, there will be carbon atom. That is our supposition. At each corner, there will be carbon atom. And there will be the bonds. The dashes will represent the bonds between the carbon atoms. The bonds between the carbon atoms are shown by the dashes like this. And the remaining valency will be satisfied by hydrogen. And this is called the bond line structure. We'll study this again. That is called the bond line structure of benzene. Bond line structure of benzene. So in the bond line structure, the carbon atoms and the hydrogen atoms are not shown. They are hidden. Only the ring or the structure. If, for example, you take this one, the structure will be like this. How many? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It will be shown like this. Only like this. At this corner, carbon atom. Here there is carbon atom. Here, and here also there will be carbon atom. That is the supposition. And this is called the bond line structure. So the Kekulé structure of benzene, you come back to the Kekulé structure of benzene, it can be shown this way also. Alternate double bond and a single bond. There is a double bond between the carbon atoms. There is single bond between the carbon atoms. Again double bond, then single bond, then double bond, then single bond, like this. That is the structure suggested by Kekulé, and that is approved by us also. If this is the only structure of benzene, what about the carbon-carbon bond length? In the given structure, what is your opinion regarding the carbon-carbon bond lengths? Will all the carbon-carbon bond lengths be equal or different? Will it be equal or different? What is your opinion, Naveen? You come to the structure. Carbon-carbon bond length.
Like it's alternating, right? Like some are
Single
strong
bond and
bond.
double bond. So the thing is this, the bond length between the carbon atoms will not be the same. Two types of bond lengths. There is double bond as well as single bond. There is double bond and a single bond. If single bond, what will be the single bond length? The bond length of a carbon-carbon single bond. It is, say, 154 picometer. That is a 154 picometer. That is carbon-carbon single bond length. And you come to the carbon-carbon double bond length. That is a 134, roughly 134 picometer. You know what is picometer? 1 picometer is equal to 10 raised to minus 12 meter. 1 picometer is equal to 10 raised to minus 12 meter. That is equal to 10 raised to minus 10 centimeter. 1 picometer is equal to 10 raised to minus 12 meter or 10 raised to minus 10 centimeter. That's equal to 1 picometer. Okay, come back to the structure of benzene. If this is the only structure for benzene, we can expect different types of bond lengths. Two different types of bond lengths in benzene. We can see there is a carbon-carbon single bond and there is carbon-carbon double bond. And you measure the bond length, carbon-carbon bond length in benzene. On measuring, you can see that the carbon-carbon bond length in benzene, that is found to be 139 picometer. That is equal to 139 picometer. All the carbon-carbon bond lengths are equal. Do you hear me? All of you are there. Eh? So you are gone. See, Nidhi, Meenakshi, Malavika, Michael. Okay. So in benzene, there is alternate single bond and a double bond. Vidur, there is alternate single bond and a double bond. So we can expect two carbon-carbon bond lengths. Am I right, Atul? We can expect two carbon-carbon bond lengths. One is corresponding to the single bond, and that is equal to 154 picometer. The other one corresponding to carbon-carbon double bond, and that's equal to 134 picometer. These are the bond lengths that we expect. But when you measure the bond length, there is a spectroscopic method, There is a diffraction method, electron diffraction or X-ray diffraction method. You measure the bond length. You can see that in benzene, the carbon-carbon bond lengths are all equal. Aryan, carbon-carbon bond lengths are equal. There is no difference. See, there is no difference. All the carbon-carbon bond lengths are equal. And that is equal to 139. That is equal to 139 picometer. 139 picometer is not corresponding to single bond, nor corresponding to double bond. It is something between single bond and a double bond. Agree, Shekhari? That is something between single bond and a double bond. Not exactly single bond and not exactly the double bond. So something has happened in the structure of a benzene. It should have happened there. No. And at that point, we are coming to the phenomenon of resonance. Resonance. So the property of some molecules or ions, the property of some molecules or ions cannot be explained with a single structure. With a single structure. You follow what I say? Naurin, Steffi, say the properties of certain molecules or ions cannot be explained with a single structure. For example, benzene, the bond length between carbon atoms, the bond lengths are equal, same, but it cannot be explained with a single structure. And to explain the properties of such molecules or ions, the molecule or ion is given different structures, various structures. So that means the properties of certain molecules or ions can be explained only with the help of more than one structure. More than one structure. Different structures, various structures. And the various structures should be having some properties like this. The properties are this. The relative positions of the nuclei, the relative positions of the atoms should be the same. In all the structures considered, Rajas, in all the structures considered, the positions, the relative positions of the atoms or nuclei should be the same. There is no change in the relative positions of the nuclei. There is no change in the relative positions of the atoms. That is condition number one. Okay. Second, the number of bonding electron pairs. Bonding electron pairs. We call it as bond pair. Bond pair. Pair means two. Pair means two. And what is bond pair? Bond pair. The two electrons present in, come on, Evelyn. The two electrons, Evelyn. Bond pair. The two electrons present in a covalent bond. Evelyn, do you get me? A covalent bond is formed by sharing a pair of electrons, right? A pair of electrons. It is a bond is formed, a covalent bond is formed by sharing of a pair of electrons. And the pair of electrons present in a covalent bond, that is called, Rajas, that is called, come on, speed up. The electron pair present in, admittance say, the electron pair, Rajas, the electron pair present in, electron pair, the two electrons, electron pair present in a covalent bond is known as, come on, the pair in the bond, that is called bond pair. Have you got the notes? Have you got the notes? Okay. The electrons present in the bond, covalent bond, that is called bond pair. Bond pair. Bond pair. You can see that there will be electron pairs which are not taking part in the bonds also. Free electron pairs also can be seen. Well, we have drawn the structure of a water molecule. On the oxygen atom, we could see two electron pairs that are not bonded. Not bonded. And such electron pairs that are not involved in bonding, they are called lone pairs. L-O-N-E, 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 lone pair of electrons. Lone pair, L-O-N-E, lone pair of electrons. A pair of electrons, two electrons, which are not taking part in the bond, they are called lone pair, L-O-N-E. So on atoms, we can see two types of electron pairs. One is a bond pair. The other is a lone pair. Anthony, can you say what is bond pair? Unmute. Anthony, you try.
Bond pair is
Just say. Okay, I shall repeat. Just listen. In a covalent bond, there will be a pair of electrons. Pair of electrons shared by the atoms. Okay. The electron pair, two electrons, that's a pair. The electron pair shared by the atoms, or the electron pair present in a covalent bond, that is called a bond pair. Electron pair in the bond, covalent bond, that is called a bond pair. And what is lone pair, L-O-N-E, lone pair? They are the non-bonding electron pairs, the free electron pairs, the electron pairs that are not involved in bonding. Okay, now you explain, Anthony, what is a bond pair and what is lone pair. You can try. You will get.
the compound present in
Bond pair, yes, come on.
compound present in
Yes, what you said is correct. Finish it.
present
Bond pair is? Anthony, a bit louder. Okay, you say, you will get. You should get. Okay, you just listen my word. I shall repeat till you get the answer. Okay. In a covalent bond, a pair of electrons, two electrons, a pair of electrons is shared by two atoms. Do you agree with that? Okay. The electron pair present in a covalent bond is called bond pair of electrons. Bond pair, B-O-N-D, P-A-I-R, bond pair. Okay. In addition to this, in the molecules, the atoms will be having electron pairs that are not involved in bonding. There will be free electron pairs. The electron pairs not taking part in the bond. They are called lone pair, L-O-N-E, lone pair of electrons, or non-bonding electron pair, non-bonding, N-O-N, non-bonding electron pairs. Now you complete the answer. What is a bond pair and what is the lone pair? Come on. Louder. I cannot hear you. Krishna, do you hear him? Krishna,
No, sir.
you cannot hear.
No.
You just explain what is a bond pair and what is a lone pair. Krishna, Anthony, listen. Come on.
Electron pairs present in covalent bond are bond pairs.
Yeah.
And lone pairs are the electrons.
Ah.
Free electron pairs.
Not taking part in the Bond formation.
Bonding.
They are called a lone pair of electrons. Anthony, did you get the notes? You got it? I cannot hear you. If you have got the notes, you just raise your hand. You got it? Go through the notes. Eh? You should be kept below your head or below your pillow. It should not be used as a pillow. You just open it and read it. You will get, man. You will get. Don't worry about it. Okay. So, a lone pair and a bond. We need this. The bond pair and the lone pair. We need this in the further studies. That is why I'm taking more time for this. All these are preliminary topics. Okay. So, what we are talking about? Okay. The structure of benzene. We study the carbon-carbon bond length is between single bond and a double bond. Carbon-carbon single bond and a double bond. So there is a change in the structure. And we get various structures. We can write various structures, at least 2 structures for benzene. Kekulé suggested alternate single bond and a double bond. A ring of 6 carbon atoms with alternate single bond and a double bond. That is Kekulé structure. Kekulé, name of the scientist. Kekulé structure. Okay. Well, what happens here? The actual structure of benzene is slightly different from the structure suggested by Kekulé. Slightly different. And that difference is actually resonance. And how does it happen? It is happening due to the existence of different structures. That is due to the presence of different structures for the same molecule. Different structures for the same molecule in such a way that the relative positions of the atoms remain the same. There is no change in the positions of the atoms or nuclei. There is no change in the lone pair of electrons and the bond pair of electrons. In all the structures, we are going to consider various structures to explain the properties of the molecule. Okay? We are going to explain the properties of a molecule with the help of different structures, various structures. We are going to use various structures. Okay? And when you write the various structures, there are 2 important conditions. One is this: the relative positions of the atoms or nuclei should be the same. There is no change. There is no change in the relative positions of the nuclei or atoms. Second, there is no change in the number of bonding electron pairs, bond pairs, and lone pairs also. In all the structures considered, the bond pair of electrons and a lone pair of electrons should be the same. You remember that? Bond pair is equal to lone pair. That is not the meaning. Bond pair is equal to lone pair. That is not the meaning. In structure number 1, there will be a certain number of a bond pair and a lone pair. In structure number 2, there will be the same number of a lone pair and a bond pair as in structure 1. Do you get me? So, without change in, you have the class now. Without the change in the relative positions of the nuclei or atoms, and without a change in the number of bond pairs and lone pairs, we can draw various structures. And there will be existence of various structures. And that phenomenon is called resonance. So, the properties of certain molecules or ions can be explained with the help of more than one structure. And in the structures considered, the relative positions of the nuclei or atoms should not be changed. The number of lone pairs and bond pairs of electrons should be equal in all the structures. And this phenomenon is called a resonance. The various structures are called resonance structures or contributing structures or canonical structures. The resonance structures or contributing structures or canonical structures. Let us take the case of benzene 1 minute more. See, this is the structure of benzene, first given by Kekulé. You call this Kekulé structure number 1. You can have another structure, and in that, say, the structure is like this. The position of the double bond is changed. This is structure number 2. Number 2. So 2 structures are drawn. In the 2 structures, say relative positions, carbon atom 1, carbon atom 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Similarly, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See? In the first structure, the double bond is between carbon atoms 1 and 2. In the second structure, between carbon atoms 1 and 2, there is single bond. There is single bond. So in the place of a double bond, there is single bond in the second structure. And these 2 structures are called the resonance structures or the contributing structures or canonical structures. Canonical structures. And the phenomenon is called resonance. And the resonance is shown by double-headed arrows. Double-headed arrow resonance. So what is the actual structure of a benzene? The actual structure of benzene is shown like this. See, instead of alternate single bond and a double bond, we write, say, a circle like this. The position of the double bond will be changed. Or you can write the structure